listening to.
Emergency.
I do tend to explode only when by myself.
I got one in a headlock, and I definitely connected at least 5 or 6 times before I heard.
Oh my God!
So you got to punch a cop.
Yeah.
There's a slight difference between molestation and like vigorous bestiality rape.
It's not molestation.
He's the mole, dude.
He's got the mole in the base of his cock, dude. It's fucking home like a hole.
Mom, you are a horrible human being. You know what? Why don't you die from breast cancer or something?
Jesus, Murphy.
No, you take me back.
How do the sun and moon orbit the Earth if it's flat?
Suck a scientist's dick.
But in the event of an emergency, your regular exit might not be the quickest or safest.
Hey, this emergency exit is painted on.
There's no way out. There's no way out.
Yo! That's right. Now is the time to open your mind in our search for the unknown. Who knows what we will find? This is Emergency Exit. This is episode 111. Today is July 1st, 2019. We are broadcasting to you again from our floating tin can. Far above the world. Also at K-Brand Studio.
How you doing?
I am Los. Follow me on Twitter at That's Right Los. Joining me as always is Jimmy Orange Man Bad Preston. Follow him on Twitter at Jimmy Preston. Streaming us live to the world and making us all that money. We are streaming live to YouTube is Brandon the Hard Hat Mitchell. My man.
Hello.
Always get a standing ovation, don't you?
Yeah, always.
Welcome back. We were gone last week.
Yeah, gone last week. Hard Hat went out of town. We didn't approve that vacation, but and it turns out that he was actually here.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I think he took a, what do they call that, a staycation.
Staycation.
Sorry, I'm putting my stupid
You
sunglasses
can't
away.
handle the sunglasses.
Not inside. It's weird. I wear sunglasses because the sun is in my eyes. They literally shade me from the sun.
Well, it's the studio lights in here are just a little harsh. We need to get.
Freaking kidding me?
You know, we need to get some filters some filters.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a technical term. But don't worry about that. You know, listen, I wear my shades because I just need to take the edge off. I work a hard day all day. I'm here hanging out with my bros. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. And
it doesn't matter to the podcast listeners. The viewers, of course, they'll see it. But, of course, the podcast viewers are not seeing it.
Correct.
Anyways, today on the show, what are we going to talk about, Jimmy?
A bunch of stuff.
We got the Democrat debate a bit, right?
We had the Democratic debate and all kinds of stuff. You know, the G20 was over the weekend. Trump is making some major moves in diplomacy.
Okay.
And also, you know, maybe some potential deals with China for the tariff. The question of tariffs might be answered soon. Who knows?
Sure. And we'll talk about concentration camps as well. Sure we?
Yeah,
we'll talk about that too. But first, let's do a brew world order.
Oh, okay.
I was like a little bit of corn in that one. Alrighty, we are drinking Swifty APA from Real Ale Brewing Company. There's always time for a Swifty APA, which is, of course, an American Pale Ale.
Swifty.
This is coming from Real Ale Brewing Company in Blanco, Texas. Blanco is what I hear the white boys saying. It's got 5.2% alcohol by
Blanco's
volume.
just south of here, right? It's in between San Antonio and...
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's something...
It's like south of Fredericksburg.
I told Brandon a good game we should play is
maybe north.
Get a list of all the different counties in Texas, and what we'll do is we'll play a game. So we'll make up 3 words.
Like marry, F, or kill?
No. We'll make 3 words, and then we'll add like the real county in there. So 3 different names of counties that aren't in Texas, and then throw the one that is in Texas. But if they sound, because there's a lot of counties that you might not even know are counties. I think there's a Pakistan, Texas.
Hey, I bet
Pakistan.
I bet Beto knows all of them.
I went to all of them. I just want to have a serious conversation.
He's been to every county.
Skateboarded in every Whataburger.
He was just
Stood
in
on every
town.
table.
As a matter of fact, over the weekend, he was at Schultz Garden.
Gives a shot.
And I believe he was standing on a table.
Was he?
Talking to people.
Okay.
But so was Julian Castro.
Julian Castro.
And if there's anybody that I am guaranteed not to vote for, it's Julian Castro, just because he will not leave my email account alone. I'm just
He's
getting
hit you up way too many
bombarded.
times?
And his mom emailed me last night. Like, my son Julian is really you're bringing your mom into this, like begging for money. Anyway, let's get to the Brew World Order.
Okay. Well, Jimmy is going to read.
Oh, I just opened it.
He's going to read the label. Actually, it's coming right off of Real Ale Brewing Company's website. And he's going to read their description in his most sexy and sultry, sexy voice. Take it away, Jimmy.
Swifty is a refreshing revival of a classic American style, the American Pale Ale, with a light medium body and bright citrus hops. Swifty APA delivers bold flavor, remarkable balance, and thirst-quenching crushability. Here at Real Ale, we believe there's always time for a Swifty. But is that a
drink
play on words?
responsibly.
Is that a play on words of Swifty? What's that supposed to mean? Like going into the broom closet and rubbing one out?
Yeah, what is this? There's
what
always
is a
time for a
Swifty?
Swifty.
Always time. I mean, like,
What?
I guess.
You know, if you name something that people might ask what it is, they should probably put it in the description somehow.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, don't you have to deliver your opening remarks in that landmark case to the Supreme Court? Well, yes, I do, Steve. But, you know, there's always time for a Swifty. And then crack. And then
Well, speaking of which, let's crack her open
Okay,
and we'll
yeah.
get a taste. Wonderful. Here we go.
Oh,
Oh, he's licking it right off the can.
I did.
Brandon, the Hard Hat Mitchell, what do you think about this beer?
What was that IBU?
It's what is the IBU? It is 40
40?
40.
Man, that's kind of
What is that? International bitterness?
Bitter units.
Bitter units?
Yeah.
and I forgot. I think it goes up to 130.
Okay.
That sounds about right. Man, for that tastes kind of bitter, and for that to be a 40, eeh,
Yeah.
I'd hate to see like what a 90 is.
Oof. Get it
But-
away from me.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me get another
What is
It's 1 to 100.
1 to 100. Okay.
what is the OG? It's OG Plateau is 11.5. What does that mean?
I mean, that's degrees or yeah, it's degrees. 11.5 degrees. OG Plateau. Plateau.
Crazy.
I'm not looking it up.
I
I'm
have
not
no
either.
idea.
I
Probably the
refuse.
optimal serving temperature.
Okay.
Out of the I don't know.
What do you
Either
giving
way,
it?
I'm gonna give it a 3.8.
Okay.
Oh, why is that?
It's too bitter.
Too bitter
too
for-
hoppy.
Oh, you don't like? That's right.
Not really.
You're not a big fan of the hops.
They're so filling.
So I hate all IPAs. And then I see that there's a lot of brewers that are doing this American Pale Ale, which is basically the same
thing.
like it's the fool guys like me. Like, oh, I hate IPA. Oh, well, an APA.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Because you're racist against Indians, you're like, this
That's
is
it.
how we're going
That's
to
it.
trick him to drinking IPAs. We'll just tell him they're not IPAs
Because it's made in America.
because he hates Indians. That's great, right?
Figured it out.
Yeah,
That's
well,
it.
yeah, I'm not I'm just Indians. I
I'm
just
just kidding,
hate
everybody. I know he doesn't.
Indian beer. I mean,
It's fair enough. I don't like Indian food. I would go as far as say I hate it.
you hate it.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
You hate
you've had a
Indian Pale Ale?
bad experience with it.
It just doesn't taste good to me.
Yeah, leaves a bad taste in your
Yeah, it tastes
palate.
like feet.
all of it,
All of
even
it.
the naan. You don't like the naan bread?
Well, bread.
Man, I went
suppose.
to. But
We're-
what
we're
about
getting-
saffron rice?
We're getting way far off the
Okay,
brew world.
I'm giving
here.
it a 3.
A 3? Why?
Yeah.
You don't like the pops
Eh,
either?
It's terrible. It's an
Wow, this is
it's-
not faring well right now.
No, it's an Indian Pale Ale, but they just tried to put an American flag on it and sail it right by me. But I knew what was going on the whole time. So that's what I'm saying. You're not fooling me, Real Ale. Thanks for the attempt. It does go down good, but the aftertaste is India Pale Ale.
All right, this comes from Roxanne, I'm gonna try to see this.
We got notes.
Yeah, Roxanne
we
looked
got
it
a
up.
live commentator.
Plato. This indicates the ratio of the fermentable sugars to the water in the beer. It's based on the specific gravity in the gravity/density of the beer at any given time, and is given in degrees. Science. I still don't know what a plateau is after that, but thank you, Roxanne, and I'm glad you're listening. You're probably watching. She's watching on YouTube right now.
You're a doll for calling in and letting us know. But
I mean, let me get my
yeah. What do
thing
you
in
think?
here.
What do
I
you
like
think of the
this,
Swifty?
You know, but it's not as high as Thirsty Goat, but it scales high for me. One more sip here. It's really good. I like this one, and I'm gonna give this a 4.5. I like this more than you guys. That's a bummer.
So look, the way that this is pictured, do we have the picture that we can show to the people of the beer on the website? No. Yes. or no?
The logo is yes. It is
Okay.
up right now, in between you guys.
No, it's not.
On the
Down there. It's,
in
look at
the
them
like
under.
the real life. Okay. So what I'm saying is, see that one right there, the beer in the glass.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't see that.
Oh, they see that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is the beer in the glass, and I don't know how to do it technology. Like I should be able to zoom in on something, but if it was served to me in that glass, I probably would have rated it a 4.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Well.
Aesthetics.
Okay. Great. So.
Are we done with the beers?
No, I wasn't done with. I was gonna say that this is great. I liked that it's got a grapefruit bitterness to it, very floral.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like IPAs, but I wouldn't drink more than 3 of them in one sitting. So that's why it still gets a 4.5, but it's still delicious, and the alcohol percentage is low enough to drink. This is like about a normal beer. So, anyways, brew world order.
It's
That's
important.
right.
It's important to talk about what we're
What are you
drinking.
drinking?
Because
Who cares, right?
it sets the tone for the rest of the show. So, all right, what do we got?
So I thought we should talk about some concentration camps, border talk, if you will.
Gosh.
So, do you remember this? This was about 5 months ago. Brandon, will you pull up that first supercut, my man? It's the first link. There you go. So, do you remember this was only 5 months ago?
5 months.
There's a video down there, Brandon.
After months of denying, what was the...
Let's just watch this. Make it big.
Oh,
The
goodness.
president tries to sell a crisis that the facts tell us does not exist. Donald Trump may be inventing a national security crisis on the border.
Oh, man.
Fucking...
Anyways, you remember this manufacturer crisis nonsense we were going over a few months ago? We even talked about it on one of our programs.
Yeah, and I think I even said that I believe that the Republicans are manufacturing the crisis to make
There's not a crisis.
their base
Actually, it's pretty much under
hysterical. Hysterical that they're coming to rob us and rape us, and
That is
they're
see,
coming.
I don't know where you're hearing that, but literally nobody's saying that. I'm sorry, dude, but you cannot find me one shred of evidence that that's true, where people are saying that. But
No,
I can show you evidence of
I'm
people
telling
doing a saying
you
turn
what
that
I think.
turn that.
And what I think is that the
So, Jim, any sign of a crisis where you are?
no.
No sign of a crisis, Wolf. There is not a border
'cause there's
crisis.
a-
And
not.
even if there
There's a
were,
delay.
the wall would not be the solution.
No crisis.
Maybe
No
we
crisis.
don't need a wall.
Okay.
You don't need a wall.
Do we even need a wall anymore?
Do we need? We should have open borders.
All right, I think you're just joking now. Check out. Let's pull up that article from The Hill here. So we got an article from The Hill, and this is good on the Democrats here, man. The Democrats finally approved some cash for the wall.
For border security.
For border security, which includes a wall.
Right.
And you see, the thing is, when you say it, now we talked about this on episode 98, which was I listened to it earlier today, and that's a good podcast. That's a good stuff. You guys want to listen to some? It's called Trump Derangement Syndrome, and it perfectly. These things that I say now, it's great that we're recording them because we're gonna bring these things up for you in the future.
Are you trying to out? You're trying to out me, or
I'm not trying to out
like,
you, but I
get
want
me in a gotcha moment.
no gotchas, because I do gotchas, but it's not a gotcha, okay?
Okay.
But it's not about gotcha. It's to show, hey man, be more objection, because I'm arguing for it, but you want to argue against me sometimes, and sometimes I'm right. Not that I'm right. Is that
if you're going to go back to the past when I said that a wall is fine,
you absolutely did,
and a wall
you do want a wall.
would have been completely something that you could have just if he had never said all of the racist things that he said.
You got to prove that those things are racist.
Okay. If he had never said some of the things that are pointed at specific groups based on their religion or their ethnicity, if he had never said such angry things against those people, then it would have been easier to tolerate this as just like, hey, national security, and it could have just been done without anybody talking about it. Like, if he would just shut his mouth. This is the problem I have with the guy. He just won't shut his mouth and do things the way that things are supposed to be done. And that's the great divide. Everybody's like, yeah, I like him because he doesn't do things the way that they're supposed to be done. And I'm like, I can't stand this guy because he does not do things the way things are supposed to be done. So this is a cilantro problem. You taste cilantro, it tastes like soap. I taste cilantro, it tastes like deliciousness, and I want it on everything.
Actually, it's the opposite in this example. I'm the one that can taste it, and you're the one that tastes soap.
No.
See, I see what
I
you're doing.
taste cilantro.
No, you taste soap.
I like cilantro
I
taste.
can taste cilantro perfectly.
Well, maybe I like soap in my taco then.
Well, perhaps you do, and that's on you, my man. Why don't you read this article for us?
Democrats make a U-turn on calling border
manufactured crisis. Go down some more. We don't just read headlines here. Boom.
Democrats have done a U-turn on their claim from earlier this year that President Trump's concern about illegal immigration at the southern border was a manufactured crisis.
That's
so
right.
wait. So you're saying the Democrats were claiming it was a manufactured crisis?
Yeah, the left, everyone was saying that. If you watch that Supercut, it had politicians and left-wing media sources, CBS, CNN, and MSNBC.
Well, now, are they making a U-turn, or were they in May or in March? Hey, is it a crisis, Bill? Well, actually, I'm standing here. It doesn't look like a crisis, Bill. Okay, back to you, Bill. And then,
they stood in front of a fucking wall.
Yeah. And then now they go.
I wonder why, because the wall worked. Just like when Jim Acosta. I listened to the Jim Acosta.
Let's go to Steve McNally down at the border wall. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, I'm over here in front of this wall in El Paso, Texas.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for joining us live via satellite remote. So listen, we're covering the border crisis. Is it a emergency? Is it a crisis?
I've seen a lot of things in the past, but it seems to be good now. I tell you what,
No. You're today.
There's no crime. I don't see no illegals.
Are you with Fox News or are you with CNN?
I'm with the CN Fox. And I just want to ask you some questions while you're here. Do you look at the crime around? Do you see any crime?
I see. I'm in New York studios, and yes, there's tons of crime.
You don't see what's behind me. I'm on a screen, and you are in all the liberal, hippie New York City. I got you where you sit, you little turd. You just go ahead and just keep on spitting out your MSNBC nonsense. No one cares about you. Go Trump 2020.
Wait, how did you get hired for our network? You're one of our correspondents, and you just
infiltrated. I totally burned all of you.
You had no cultural. You didn't have an accent, and now all of a sudden you're from somewhere deep in the South.
I got you.
Maybe the Panhandle of Florida.
I'm Jeff the Texan. I screwed you, motherfuckers. You have no idea who I am. I'm coming over. I'm saying, oh, yeah, because I know what you want to say. I know what you want to hear. You always, oh, yes, I think that man does not have a penis, therefore he's a woman's. He's got a penis. I'm telling you.
I remember we got to maintain strict accent control. You almost went almost went like a midwestern there for a second.
Man, I'll tell you who they're going after them. They got nothing.
If you're trying to catch me in a trap, you're trying to catch me, and you're trying to catch me on the I said that the wall was not a bad idea, and I'm telling you,
No. You absolutely did say it's a good idea. You just don't like the way Trump says it.
That's it.
And I made fun of you because that's your TDS. I just can't. It's your one little thing. I don't like the way he said it. I like the idea. I don't like the way he said it. And so you're gonna try to find everything. I don't like the way Robert Mueller's fucking. I don't like the report that he put out against Trump, but I'm gonna find something not to like about it, or I'm gonna. It's what you guys keep doing. But so you blamed Trump for the government fucking shutting down over this wall that he wanted, or it's not just the wall. Remember, when we say the wall, it's not just the wall. It is literally a whole
okay, but remember,
comprehensive.
That episode 98 that you're referring to, that was during the government shutdown.
Yes.
He was using the wall as leverage to not approve a government budget.
Wait. Yeah, the Democrats were doing that. He was trying to get the government budget. He was trying to get.
He said, "I will not sign a budget unless it has money
border
for the
wall."
wall. And he wanted.
So why did? Let me ask you, why did all of a sudden we got 4.5 billion going there? I mean, it's 1 billion off of what he was asking, and
look,
this whole time it's the Democrats' fault.
We delve in conspiracy theories. I'm telling you right now, there is some sort of group that is beholden or aligned with your guy that is sending these people up here to manufacture this crisis.
This manufactured crisis. Let's play a little clip from our
either that
98.
or we are wasting a lot of money, because what we need to do.
Watch us.
Oh God! So
they're actually a lot of times the first line of defense.
Goddamn right.
For stuff that's coming in,
or the last line,
well,
depending
hopefully,
on how you look at it.
And it's not as if they're not going to get paid for all that work that they're doing. They're just not getting paid at the moment. And once the government comes back, they're going to have a nice fat paycheck
keep
that
going.
you well deserved. And I'm sorry that Democrats are holding this up like crazy.
Oh no! Do not put your boy even said it.
That's how you get Jimmy triggered.
See, that's
I own the shutdown.
Yeah.
I am proud to own it.
He did not say that. He
said
it in a way
that.
that you guys were like,
I own it.
He said it to make sure that your little delicate little ears didn't get.
That's exactly
He said,
right.
Fine. I'll say, yeah, I'll take claim for it if you guys are going to be little bitches about it.
That's right. That's exactly right. And guess what? Democrats folded after all this time, and that officially makes it a Democrat to blame for that government shutdown.
Wait,
those two times
because of the U-turn. Now,
yes, absolutely, because of the U-turn.
Okay, no.
This
you're
whole
talking
time,
about,
because they called it a manufactured crisis that whole time. Give me a second. Let me finish. This whole time they called it a manufactured crisis, and now all of them now are saying that there's humanity.
All of them.
All of them. Didn't you watch the fucking the goddamn debates? They were talking about the humanitarian crisis at the border. They're all saying that now, right?
Yeah,
that was
there is a humanitarian crisis.
That's exactly
with people
what it
that
said.
are
That's what Trump said.
But they're talking about what's going on in these detention centers. I mean, there are people that have not been given proper bedding, any clothes. They're still in the same clothes that they were in when they came into this country and were apprehended.
You're right. Give me a second here.
Not given toiletries. Some of them haven't even been given a toothbrush.
You're absolutely right, dude, and it's terrible. But you got to understand, there's a lot more people trying to get into the country right now, and it's pretty much the treatment at these concentration camps, as some would call them. I disagree with that completely. They've been consistent for the last 50 years, especially through Obama, because that whole cage thing. Remember that?
Yeah, but listen, the Obama administration has been clear that they were not doing child separation. Okay, They were.
What do you do? You can't just keep the children with the other fucking people. You know, a lot of those children, and
Now, I
Obama
understand-
himself would say, "Please stop sending your children."
There's a lot of people that get upset. And listen, man, I'm gonna see some light on your side when I see light on your side.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, some people are just like, "Oh my God, this is so terrible. You're taking the children away from the parents."
Right.
Well, in a lot of these cases, they aren't the parents.
Yeah.
Or there's no proof.
So what do you do with that? You separate the children.
Yeah, you should separate, especially if it's like a 50-year-old
good.
man and a 8-year-old girl, you know, like, and they're not related. Like, if you've got no proof that they're related. Now, also, I think to myself, hey, I don't have any kids, but if I did, if they were about 6 or 7 years old, would that kid have a freaking license or anything? I mean, maybe if I got them a passport. I mean, does everybody get their kids a passport?
I
feel
never
like
got one.
That's the one thing that you're like, oh shit, we're about to go overseas. The kid's 12, totally should have gotten him a passport when he was 5, you know. But now we've got to drive to Houston overnight, and we got to expedite this this passport. I'm starting to wish we didn't have this kid in the first place. You know, like those types of things happen.
Well, it's terrible. I don't like the conditions there, and we're trying to do something. We're trying something now.
Are we though?
Hold up a second,
Because
let me get something out real quick. So I want to put this story up from the Daily Wire. This is Argal, Alexandra
Ocasio-Cortez.
Chapete. I'm sorry, it's not Cortez. It's
AOC.
Chapete. AOC.
Chaquete?
Now, I don't know if you guys saw earlier
It's
this week.
Ocasio-Cortez.
No, it's Chapete. Trust me. So she was at the border. Or this was actually taken when she was in her campaign or whatever for representative, congresswoman, and she says representative. She's not Congress. Yeah, she is in Congress, right? So, anyways, she got in front of the border and they took these pictures of her in front of a gate. Will you go scroll down and see those pictures there? Where she's got a furrowed brow, she's crying, she's down to her knee a little bit, she's grabbing on her knee, she's really sad,
right,
and furrowed brow, so devastated, and it says from Ivan Pierre Agari, before AOC hit the national stage and was just a fairly unknown House candidate from New York City, she took time away from her campaign and came down to the Ternio to protest the tent city housing migrant children. I make the previously unpublished photos a year ago today, so they were unpublished till today.
Okay.
Looks so sad.
Let me guess.
Looks so sad.
Let me guess.
What do you think, buddy? What do you think, buddy? With Chapete,
they were taken like within the last week.
No.
Within the last month.
She's not okay. Why don't you scroll down and show us the other side of behind her?
Is it some music video she made when she was in college?
Would you believe that? Yeah, just keep scrolling until you find those pictures. Anyways, so what was going on is she was actually looking at an empty lot, nothing there, and that cage or that fence actually is just in front of her a little bit. There you go. Can you click on that one? She stands there, and there's some more pictures of the backside of her. You can click that picture there. So there's where she was standing there. Anyways.
Okay.
So back up a few.
And they're probably yelling at the cops like, please let us in to see these children. And the cops are like,
we can't do that.
We can't do that because Trump said we can't. And,
no, it's
and
against the law.
We've got a whole bunch of children that we don't even know who they are. And we have no idea who they even came with. Like, we have done no record keeping.
So what do you do? So what helps bringing you in?
We've got a whole warehouse of unknown children that belong to somebody.
Go back and keep looking for
and we
the
have
pictures.
no idea where they're supposed to go.
There's like one even more further back so you can see what she's looking at.
Of course, we can't let you in here. If we let you in here, it would be a really big mistake. Much bigger than the mistake we made in not registering these children in any way.
Are you gonna cry?
When they showed up to our border. So I don't know. Look, this is the thing.
Well, she called it that concentration camps. Do you agree with that terminology?
Listen, if if concentration camps are
What are concentration camps?
concentration camp? I don't know. Like we could look it up in
Where are they most
Webster's
notable from?
dictionary from World War II.
Yeah,
the Nazis.
So when you think she's saying that, she's literally saying that we're treating them as the Nazis treated the Jews.
If we were to literally unpack that, then I could say, well, she's false. It's a false premise. They're not concentration camps. Concentration camps, it was people were rounded up and put in a transportation vessel and then taken to these camps. And then I don't know if there's many stories of people ever being released by the Nazis, like they were liberated by the Allies.
Let's move on.
So, but what I'm saying is, this is different. This is people that are coming to a country and they're not welcome. You know, they're welcome.
They are welcome,
but they've got to come. They're not following the rules. And this is the thing.
It's a simple rule too.
Nowhere
come through my doorway.
Nowhere
Don't
in their
break
lives
in through the window.
did they see the rules. Like, we aren't giving the rules. We should be giving pamphlets. I've told you.
You're
this.
right. We don't know. They don't know the rules. They might not know the rules. You're right.
Billboards all up and down the road that says, if you are coming to somehow I got to think that there's enough money that has been donated to this stupid manufactured problem, right?
But signs are easy to pull up and get vandalized and all that stuff.
If you come, your children will be taken from you because we don't know who you are. If you don't have ID, you will be separated because we can't prove that you are actually with that child, right? And put that in Spanish, not just English.
They should put that sign on the wall when they get up to the border.
You know, if you are not filing for asylum, then you need to go home, because if you are caught entering the country illegally, it can just jeopardize your ability to stay here permanently in the future.
Right.
Right? So why can't we do this? Who's listening to this show? Can we get somebody to listen to this freaking show that gives a shit? Because I'm talking about solving the problem. The problem is people coming to the border, right? Well, then let's nip it in the bud. How? We got to educate them.
How do you educate them?
And then we got to put money into their infrastructure or something, or you know, look. It looks like there was a little bit
want
of
to hand out everything.
There was a little bit of I told you I tip my hat to the orange man when I can tip my hat to him.
Okay.
But he
these
played,
cans sort of look like him with the orange hair.
He played the Mexicans hard and tough with he said he was gonna do like 50 billion in tariffs, you know, if they didn't start enforcing some shit.
And
right?
they started to enforce some shit.
And they said okay.
China will have to work with them a little bit more because they have a little bit more backbone.
They sent some troops to the southern border, and it looks like that bluff worked this time.
Not a bluff.
Well, it would have been a bluff.
He went on stage and he goes,
"See, this is the thing.
Ladies and gentlemen of America, frankly, you can pay 5 more cents for your avocado. Thank you very much."
And he walked off the stage.
Have your avocado and eat it too.
You can have it. Just enjoy it.
Or he's like, let them eat avocados.
Well, anyways.
For 5 cents more.
You know, so there was a Trump administration nonprofit that bought $200,000 in beds and such. And the Chapete, Alexandria Ocasio-Chapete, encouraged Wayfair, the manufacturer,
What are you saying,
to go on
Chapete?
strike
What is
because of the
Chapete?
conditions of the camps. So let me get this straight. And this is the next from USA Today. Yeah. He missed it. Anyways, he'll pick it up. So basically what happened is Wayfair, a bunch of the employees are protesting and not showing up for work or some shit like that in protest of the conditions of the camp. So you're going to stop working. And so what they do is they supply, they're contracted by, you know, some of these border detention centers to furnish them because Wayfair's a furniture, right? A furnisher, right?
What?
So Wayfair employees sell beds and, you know, bed furniture, bedroom furniture, all that stuff.
Wayfair, you got just what I need.
So what happened is this Trump administration nonprofit bought $200K worth of beds and such, and some 500 employees signed a petition saying we don't want you to work with them. So we complain about the conditions, and AOC was totally she promoted this on a tweet saying, I'll go for you, Wayfair. You can do what you want to do if you like.
She doesn't sound like that.
She does say now, this is what democracy looks like. This is what taking power looks like.
Okay, so
if you don't like concentration camps,
let me see if I
help
understand
them.
this. So Wayfair
sold
the beds to the government.
That's right.
Okay. Well, I mean, see, this is the thing. People don't think.
Think about what?
About the ramifications. Like, let's say that somebody called me from the National KKK Association, and they said, "Yo, Jimmy, we hear that you make great jingles and commercials. We want you to record a commercial for us and make us a jingle to make the KKK more attractive to the youth." And I take it. Because the money's so good. It's like $5 million they're going to pay me for a 30-second commercial. And I'm like, man, so what? Nobody's going to see it. None of my friends are in the KKK. It won't have my name on it, you know?
Okay.
But it goes into IMDb. And then they find it. They find it, man. Somebody doxes me and they find out that I've done a KKK commercial. Do you know what that means?
Your life is over, dude. As far as you know it. You going to apologize for it?
No.
Good for
Make
you.
no apologies. I took the money.
My man.
And I used that money
to buy a Hitler costume.
I invested it wisely. It's an annuity.
In old Nazi memorabilia.
And some cryptocurrency because I like to diversify. But
so,
I did not benefit anybody that they harm. But that's why I'm a bad person.
What do you think about this whole Wayfair thing and AOC encouraging this? Does this seem counterintuitive to you? I mean, if we want to help the conditions of the camp and there's a government contract that it wasn't even a government, it was a nonprofit organization that they raised $200,000 in beds, and they gave that money to Wayfair so that they can furnish the border camps. Why is that such a bad thing? Of course, the kids need these beds. So, but you also say that these kids don't have beds, but you're protesting them getting beds from this company. Even if it was a different company, don't these kids still deserve these goddamn beds? Yeah. Jesus, Murphy.
I mean,
they don't even deserve to be in there, dude. They need to.
You're right.
It sucks.
Look, you win. The kids need beds. And they got to come from somewhere.
Concentration camps is what she's saying about these things,
look,
and it's.
Listen, man.
It hurts my feelings.
No. Let me tell you a little something.
Okay.
This is all optics. I was part of a political action group, a grassroots organization, and we were trying to get something passed in the city of Austin.
Okay.
And in order to do it, we had to make things for optics. You had to get it in the news. So we had press conferences. We had staged marches, and we had protests, and we did things with big signs and pictures. And you got to have numbers so that when the media shows up, it looks like somebody gives a shit.
Okay.
But let me tell you what, they're shooting real tight. They're shooting real tight on those cameras.
Real tight.
Yeah. And they're not seeing the whole thing. If you zoom out, most of the people would see a very boring protest, or 10 people, with signs talking to nobody, but through a loudspeaker.
Okay.
What are
you getting at? Come on.
What I'm getting at is, man, this is all a show. And what channel are you watching? And so when you're getting upset about this,
I'm not getting upset. But don't you think it's counterintuitive to this whole?
What does chupete mean?
Chupete is like a stupid ass shithead, kind of. It means shithead, I think. And that's what
in Spanish.
Yeah.
Who's calling her this?
Well,
we.
Yes, so it was David and I, the Holy Mexican, when he was doing Emergency Exit, and then we did our own podcast. It's called "This Is What Democracy Looks Like." I think I forget what we called it. No, it's the Chupete podcast because that first one was called "This Is What Democracy Looks Like," and
then you were like, "You're right.
Well,
Democracy
he kept
does
calling
not
her
look like this. This is more authoritarian."
He kept saying more. He kept saying that she was a Chupete, and I was like, "What is Chupete?" And I said, "Oh, that's perfect for AOC." I was saying, Alexandria Chavez or something, right? I thought it'd be funny. Anyways, she's calling these things fucking concentration camps.
For a while, you were stuck on the Momo.
Momo C.
Momo C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
is Momo still a thing?
I don't think so. It was like a week and that was done. Yeah. So here's an article from New York Post.
Another article, dude?
Just a little bit.
What is this?
Look at this handsome old-ass man. Read us this. And don't do sexy voice. Just read it. Just read it.
There are a few remaining survivors of concentration camps.
That's right.
Rosenberg is one of them. And the 93-year-old from Morris Plains, New Jersey, has no time. Okay, great.
What's he say?
I don't know.
I'll read it.
He says, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's statements last week when she called the southern borders migrant detention centers concentration
camps.
He said, she should be removed from Congress.
Mm-hmm. Why?
She's spreading anti-Semitism.
Whoa, your voice totally changed, dude.
Spreading anti-Semitism?
Hold up, old man.
How so? Hatred and stupidity. He says the people on the border aren't forced to be there. They go there on their own will.
Yes.
They don't walk into the jails.
They do.
They were
walk over the border where they get caught.
Forcibly placed in these detention centers.
Yeah, the ones that crossed over illegally, not the ones that are getting through the ports of entry. By the way,
the ones that are claiming asylum are still in these detention centers until their asylum claim.
Those are not asylum claimers that claim asylum at the ports of entry.
Doesn't know the difference. Either they're plain stupid. Or they just don't
What happened to
care.
your voice, old man? It was better that way.
No,
old Jewish man voice.
I wasn't gonna do. It wasn't a Jewish man's voice.
Hey, how many hollies? How much do
looks
holly
like he's
cost?
From Polish.
How much does a holly cost?
Poland. Huh?
How much does a holly cost?
A holly?
Yeah. How much does a holly cost?
Oh.
60 million. All right, that's a funny joke, right?
Don't ever do that one on stage.
That's a good one, right?
No, but what was the one that you did in Dallas? Oh my God! And isn't the president of the club in a wheelchair? You're like, I just broke up with my girlfriend, but don't worry, I kept her wheelchair.
Yeah.
But she came crawling on back.
That's right. It's something in that fashion.
That one won you best in show. It was that joke.
Yeah.
How do you top that? What's?
I do that joke all the time. That's like that's the joke I've been
that
using.
Or the tie joke. But have you retired the tie?
In some cases, yeah. I mean, I might bring it out eventually.
So look. Let's talk about this.
What's
guy.
your solution to the borders, bro?
He's right. Don't call it concentration camps.
Thank you. Okay, so what's your solution? Of course, we saw during the debate, they asked them, what are we going to do about this border thing? And all of them agreed that they want to make this a civil charge. If you cross over the border illegally, it's not going to be considered a federal charge. It'll be a civil. You're going to get a ticket, and then off you go into the country. Doesn't that just sound like open borders to you? How does that work, man? They're going to come.
I don't think any of them said, and
they
all
all
wanted
wanted
it to be a ticket, and then off you go.
So what do you do?
I think there's a ticket and then a
detainment,
resulting
concentration camp
court date, and then probably some sort of ankle bracelet like they've done in the past.
Just strap them, huh?
Strap them up, monitor them.
Okay, that's going to be cheaper than a wall, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. So I don't know. This is opening the borders. We don't. They said it themselves.
We have to buy.
We're not going to make it illegal.
And millions of miles or hundreds of miles.
This is America, and if anyone can do it, it's the
It's
USA.
It's Trump can buy American people's land away from him because he wants
Dude,
to.
are you gonna be so
I'm
angry
talking
if he
eminent
gets
domain
if he-
is a thing that people like rioted over. There was a guy that those crazy dudes up there in Oregon, man. They were pissed off that they were being forced off land that wasn't theirs. They were like, "Hey, man, I should have the right to have my cattle graze anywhere the hell I want, even if it is government property, and you're trying to put up a fence so that I'm gonna bring up a bunch of my redneck buddies." And
every time I was just listening to that
die.
I was listening to that Trump derangement syndrome episode. And
those
every time you did a
guys-
Republican, you did a hick voice, and I had to keep going. You know that not all Republicans are hicks. Right?
Most of them are.
No, they're not, dude.
And even if they aren't, they talk with a redneck accent, just because they think that makes them higher up on the totem pole of idiot Trumpers. So
wow,
look, this is what I'm saying.
My man.
There's idiots on both sides. Okay,
Yeah,
the people that
sure.
were live or die with Hillary, I say that they're just as crazy as the people that are live or die with Trump. And the people that are live or die with Bernie, listen, Bernie's old. I don't think he's the guy. Neither is Uncle Joe.
How many times
none of
did-
these guys are gonna do it? I mean,
Yeah. Or not Uncle Joe. Creepy Joe.
I think the one that scares Trump the most is Kamala Harris, because he does not know how to handle debating a woman.
A strong black
I mean,
woman.
like, if it was all like, hey, let's have this debate in the locker room, oh yeah, he's got it handled. If she's his subordinate, yeah, he's got it.
Who do you think would win in a fight if they were to fight each other hand to hand?
Kamala Harris?
Yeah,
and
hand to hand combat for the presidency. Would it be Donald J. Trump or Kamala Harris, who happens to have listened to Snoop Dogg way before Snoop Dogg was around? I've been smoking pot. You know,
got a
I got
ding
hot
ding?
sauce in. I got hot sauce in my bag right now. I'll tell you what I got going on. I grew up. My daddy was Jamaican, and he was a sperm donor basically. And then my daddy that I grew up with was a rich white executive. Oh, I had it so hard.
Wait, what?
She turned into a hick all of a sudden.
But what'd you?
You don't know about that?
I don't know anything about her.
Okay, well maybe that's something I heard. I can't confirm it, but
Yeah.
I bet you I'm not too
She's
far off.
She's not my gal.
Kamala Harris in the family,
She
whatever
my,
history.
my guy.
She's got a white dad though.
She's got
An
a white
exec-
dad from
an
Jamaica.
executive. Well, her dad was a Jamaican, who I said was a sperm donor because he took off, and she was left with to have a white stepdad.
Okay, but not a dad.
Stepdad.
Stepdads aren't dads.
See, that's what you would say because you're into incest porn. No. That's what you would fucking totally say. And I'm like, no, dude, that's still a dad. You turn on Pornhub and all you fucking see is stepsister porn and shit.
That is not
gross.
my fault. That is society.
Yeah, you're part of
is
society.
bringing
I've
that.
always been against it.
But
That's
listen,
so gross.
I bypassed
Give
that.
us a call. What do you think about incest porn lady on fucking Pornhub and RedTube? It's crazy.
What is our number? Put our number up there.
830.
I want to talk to somebody right now.
8750637.
Call me right now because look.
Oh yeah, we shouldn't say the number during the podcast. If you guys can see it, the number down there, just call the number. Okay. No, we don't ever have to read it again. Okay. All right. What do you guys think about incest porn?
Look.
That's what. That's basically what you were trying to say, though.
That's not what I want them to call about. What were we just talking about?
Incest
the stupid
porn.
wall. So look, man. Once again, AOC, she is optics. Like she is the polar left, like as far left.
She's
as
far
you can go.
left, crazy
Yeah.
far left.
So if you're getting triggered by her,
Very popular.
It's working.
No, it's very. She's very popular in her party.
Yeah. Well, no.
How many
not
Democrats?
really.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't
dude.
think a lot of people, the moderates, don't have a lot of time for her. But they also know that she is a small voice. She's in the House
She's
of Representatives.
not a small voice. Yeah, but she's literally in the.
Okay.
You're right, but her voice is loud. She's got a lot of clout.
She only has one vote. Okay? She's got one
You're
vote in
right.
the House of Representatives.
You're right.
She represents a certain number of people in her district. And that is her power.
Can we agree then that
Now,
she's
the
a
fact
chapete?
that y'all on the other side, the ones that are the AOC haters, I see it, man. I see all the crap that gets posted, all the memes.
Yeah,
stuff,
but do you think we hate her because she's a girl or she's?
I think she's a strong, independent woman.
I love strong, independent women. Are you fucking joking me?
Speaks her mind, and she might say things that you guys disagree with, but you guys, some of the people that are responding to her are just so threatened by her femininity, and
give me one example of give me one example of any time that I've talked about her and it's been that case, because everything we talk, it's literally what she says when she says incorrect things, just like how y'all will point out what Trump says.
That is what a boy that has a crush on a girl does.
Take it easy. So
he throws
who's the one
rocks
thinking like
at
that?
her
No one is
on
thinking
the
like
playground.
That.
Yeah,
no one is thinking like that,
so
Jimmy.
you guys.
Jimmy,
you attack.
Jimmy.
Attack her previous position as a waitress, or
she
as
was
a
probably
bartender.
good. She was probably a good
Like,
bartender.
oh, she was just a bartender. Now she's fuck you, man. How many bartenders that
Get on that mic?
How many bartenders do you know, or waitresses do you know that are probably smart enough to be a representative or a congressperson?
We just told you what the problem is with what we have with her. Dude, I'm all about strong, independent women. It's got nothing to do with that. Think about it. She's talking and saying concentration camps about this, being ignorant about the facts. You got to call it out when you call it out. It doesn't matter if you're a woman that, dude, I don't not like her. She is a perfectly fine person until she starts opening her mouth and saying the bad things that we don't like. There are things that I do agree with her.
Do you find her attractive?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely
You're just totally repulsed by her.
I'm not repulsed.
I
stop making this about sexuality, because it's got nothing to do with sexuality, and that's what.
It's ideology, and you don't like her Green New Deal. You don't like that she's
what's to like about it?
Socialism.
What's to like about it?
I'm not going to hold up the defense for those two ideals, but I'm saying the vitriol against the Green New Deal, as we had some ridiculous proposals from the commander in Orange Chief, right? And we just had to swallow it. That's what I was thinking about on the way here. It's like, how many times does he say one thing about somebody like this person is terrible and they shouldn't be able to do that, and then he just does the same thing, and then we're not allowed to say anything?
Who? Give me an example. Give me an example of when people don't say anything about Trump. You're never gonna find something like that.
No.
Speaking of which, he went to North Korea, and you wanted to talk a little bit about this because you're saying that Kim and Trump have this bromance we should talk about. Why? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about, if you did not hear the speech that he gave while they're there at the
Can you pull up that speech? Trump's speech at the.
He's like, we like each other. DMZ. We get along. It's clearly kowtowing to Kim Jong-un.
You're right.
Get it.
You're right. He's pandering to him.
He's totally pandering to this guy. Yeah.
But why?
Get it.
But why? Why would he do that?
Because he's trying to get something out of him.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what? Get your weapons down.
Well, the goal was denuclearization.
Mm-hmm.
And he's since backtracked, and now they're not going for denuclearization. They're just going for, some sort of other... They've got some other name for it. I forget what the hell it is. But it's now denuclearization is off the table. So what is it?
So let me ask you,
if we're gonna give away the House by propping this guy up,
what other
making him legitimate? Because listen, for years and years and years, past presidents, not just the black one that we just voted out. Okay,
I don't see color.
Yeah, right. So, I mean. It's so obvious that Trump hates Obama, right? And
he did not like him.
So he keeps saying Obama would have never met with him. Obama is the guy. It's like, give it up, man. just be president and talk about what you're fucking doing and not what the last guy
How
did.
about Trump being the first president in American history to step foot
into North Korea? Yeah, that's because we haven't been dealing with these people. We've been putting economic sanctions on them and trying to squeeze the life out of them.
Keep talking because I'm going to take this, and then when they do drop their weapons and Kim becomes a part of the fucking world or whatever, because that's my question. Do you think, and I was thinking about this earlier, do you think Kim wants to try to become part of the world? And what do we do about that? Should we not let him become part of the world because he's a dictator? Or if we make sure, if he opens himself to the world and he lets people in and things get better for them, maybe he wants that for his people. But who knows, right? But what would you do about that? How would you treat this if you were in Trump's shoes, is what I ask. And I want you guys to give us a call about that. Check a number on the screen there. What would you do in Trump's case when it comes to Kim? Do you think that Kim wants to be part of the world? But what do we do about that? Can we forgive? What would be the sentence? Would he have to agree to go to jail for a certain amount of time?
No. You're not going to get him to agree to, like, hey, how about we...
Right. He's a dictator. He's not going to do that.
Yeah, we remove the sanctions and we'll start doing trade with you. What would you do? And also, Trump would like to build the first American-built Trump Tower in North Korea. And you need to go to jail for 5 years. He's going to say, go fuck yourself. Be into that. I'm still going to make the nuclear bomb. So, no, we're not going to get him to go to jail. He can
become one of the superpowers of the world, just like us.
Well, no. He's going to be a third world country for a long time. Like, if we were to bring them into the fold, like, start to trade with them, they would be swallowed up so fast by outside developers.
Get on that mic.
I'm on the mic. But
sounds a little off.
Well, I don't know.
Turn him up. Give him some gain there.
I'm fine. Okay. So, look, this is the thing. These people are starving to death, and they've been kept away from reality.
True.
Don't
you want them to become part of
Plato
the world?
Wrote about this, And
then let them become
refugees
in America?
They're in the cave, and they don't even see a reflection on the wall. Okay? We're trying.
What are you talking about?
We're trying to just get the opportunity. I'm talking about Plato's Cave. The people... there's people inside the cave that are watching a projection of what's going on outside. So this is the dilemma. If you are one of those people and you've been watching the projection on the wall of the cave, you've been watching it, you're with all your friends in the cave, you leave the cave and you go out, and you're like, wait, this is so different, but it's the same, but it's 3D, and I can interact with it. It's crazy. Is this the real world? Have I just been watching a projection? So the question is, if you go back into the cave, will those people believe you when you say that this is just a projection and it's not the real thing? That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. We are, if we're not careful, stuck watching the projection. And I'm out here, outside of the cave, yelling at you motherfuckers and saying, listen up. This is all a game, and we are losing as individuals. We need to get a hold of our government, our democracy. And we're worried about what Octavio Cortez is doing with her fucking social media presence. Who gives a shit? I'm talking about, what are they voting on? Why am I not drinking whiskey?
Yeah, pour me one.
And so, look, we've got a lot of problems to solve. And it starts with us getting serious. I was listening to some crap on the radio, and they were talking about how this guy, Scott Walker, from freaking, where's he from? Kansas? But he's now like fucking... Hey. I appreciate you.
So,
but he's a cabinet official, and he's against independent redistricting councils. And I'm telling you, yes, it's hard to find independent people, but we can do it. We can do the hard work. We can find statesmen to take on the hard work of redistricting these states and getting them so that they're not gerrymandered, and we can start to actually get a representative government that was intended by our forefathers. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, my man. Dude, what are we going to do? I guess we're not going to get anybody hitting us up about what they would do in Trump's shoes. But what would you do? You didn't really answer it. You just went into this diatribe about we're in a projection and we're watching the projection over and over. What would you do differently than Trump in this instance?
I mean,
would you come out and tell the American people that, well, okay, hey, listen, everybody, I'm going to play him up because we need him, and be honest with the American people? Or would that jeopardize, the action? Or just go ahead and just be nice to this guy. Try to figure out what we can do in the meantime. Maybe he can become part of the world. He deserves a chance, I suppose, don't you think? I don't know. He's killed people, so I don't know if that's even good. There's bigger questions than let's call Trump and Kim having a bromance.
Look.
Unless you're being sarcastic about it.
No, I'm not being sarcastic. He is buttering them up, and he's playing it like they're best friends. I mean, am I not wrong? In every interaction that you see with them,
he's going and playing golf, and they're hanging out.
Yeah, they're just he's not playing golf with Kim Jong Un. He's playing golf with you're mistaking him with the
same thing,
President of Japan.
Same thing.
So this is what I'm saying. Just take it down a notch, and let's start trying to get something. Like, he talked a big game about stopping the nuclear programs. Well, none of that is stopped. None of that is stopped.
Do you think he'll be able to stop this? Do you think he will come to some sort of agreement where North Korea is free, becomes tradable with America somehow, some way? Do you think Trump will be responsible for any of that if it happens?
Will he be responsible? Yeah. I mean, so will, Dennis Rodman still has
some clout in that.
Clout
sure.
in that.
Yeah, why not? Well, don't you think you can give him that credit if that does happen?
This is the thing. I don't see a free North Korea. There's no way that it could be free. Because
totally could.
No, if like Kim Jong-un was like, hey, you know what, guys? You can go wherever you want. They'd all leave.
Yeah, why not?
They would all leave. Right? They'd be like, well, let's go where there's food.
Well, the honesty, to be honest, it's a big fucking country still in the scope of things. It's not the most giantest, but listen, they probably have agriculture. They can probably start thriving because money can come in. Do you think everyone's just going to leave? Because for me, if everyone's leaving, I might want to go in there and buy some big ass land. Don't you think that'd be sweet as fuck?
Yeah, if a foreigner is able to go in there and but listen, I've got a certificate. I got a certificate that I own part of the moon. I own like
don't step on my rock.
2 acres of the moon. Okay, and
2 acres of the moon,
something like that.
That's a lot for the moon.
Well, and it was like it's got somebody else's name on it, but I found it at Goodwill and I just scratched their name out and wrote mine in.
Oh, it's not legit. What are you gonna do and present this? Like, hey, I want to go up there.
I mean,
I want to clean my spot. Put a couch up there, maybe a TV.
I went into like this lady's Kwanzaa hut, and she like threw some bones and did a spell, and so it's legally binding as far as I'm concerned in moon ways.
Okay, so real quick, I wanted to ask you about the debate. We gotta get out of here really soon here, but so the debate, you saw both nights?
No,
I watched both nights, but what did you watch? You got enough to get an idea of what's going on?
Look, I
don't want to talk too much about it. I wanted to ask you more if you were to vote tomorrow for at least
Buttigieg.
You want Buttigieg?
I like. Okay, let's put Buttigieg up, and I'd like a Buttigieg Sanders ticket. I'd also like a Elizabeth Warren Sanders ticket.
See, if I was to pick anybody, it wouldn't be Kamala Harris. It would be Tulsi Gabbard. I think she's good, but
I think what most likely we'll be seeing, and you can mark my words today.
Mark them.
I believe it's going to be a Harris and Buttigieg race where you got Harris running for president and Buttigieg is the vice president. That's who's going to run with Trump in 2020. And they're going to lose.
And they're going to lose.
Yeah,
okay.
we're going to win by electoral college again.
Yeah,
and then everyone's going to complain that we need to abolish the electoral college again. And we're going to go through this whole thing 4 more years again of this bunch of crybabies. And then after that 4 years, 2024, Ted Cruz and Dan Crenshaw are going to become the nominees. And I'm telling you now, this is the future. And either Ted Cruz or Dan Crenshaw are going to be the president in 2024.
Well, you can dream. And that
it'll be Republican
dream.
presidents.
Mark
my words.
I think there's still enough time for Beto to drop out and Beto to take on John Cornyn. If he takes on John Cornyn, I think he's a shoo-in to win the Senate. And it would be a crying shame if he doesn't drop out, like really soon. I like the guy. He's charismatic. And I can get excited about him, but sometimes he lacks on substance, a lot of bluster, and look, you got to be a team player, and a team player is conquering the evil that is the Republicans in Texas.
Oh my God, the evil! Yeah. See, we can't find common ground when you say things like that. They're not evil. They want the same thing as you, They want the same thing as you, but they have a different way of getting there. They have a different way of saying things than you, and that's fine. But you shouldn't be that mad. What did we learn today? What common ground did we find? Let's get out of here.
What did we find? I
think we talked about the border. We definitely didn't. With concentration camps, we don't want to call them that, right?
Yeah,
they're detention centers.
Can we agree that? Let's work on solving the problem. Like more.
My problem. I'll tell you how I want to solve this problem of the border.
To people downstream.
Here's my border problem, and I have the solution. Right? We have the problem. Close off the border completely. Yeah. Give everybody that's inside. We'll cut it off.
It doesn't work.
We cut it off. We give everybody inside all a path to citizenship, and after a few amount of years or whatever, once everything's good,
okay,
we open it back up.
Okay, you're saying okay. Now we can maybe talk.
I want to try to find some common ground here.
Okay, we want to find some common ground. You're saying like a 6-month shut down the border, nobody in, nobody out.
Maybe longer, because we want to give people the path to citizenship, and we need to give them the time.
So we got to count everybody in a year's time. Is this just a ruse to get a full shutdown?
This has nothing to
do.
Because it should be a full shutdown, and but of course, if there's we'll still have people at the borders there, but if there's any asylum, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
But absolutely no crossing illegally. Come through the ports of entry. Right. We'll make this happen. Right. But once everybody's in here and we have things going, we can start doing path to citizenship. And then, once we feel that we've done this enough and legal immigration goes down, we can reopen. I mean, it'll always be open. It's not that it's ever going to be shut, but we should completely block out things that are coming in.
It's very complicated.
It is pretty complicated, but we should talk about that,
right?
It
sounded good for a second. I was like really excited and kind of like.
But maybe we should close them off completely.
But what you're saying is a full shutdown, and then everybody that's in.
Yes,
see, that's the problem.
Not everybody. They're going to get vetted. They're going to go through the path to citizenship.
This is the problem.
Okay.
This is why people keep coming up, because they think that there's going to be that moment where they're like, okay, everybody that's here, you can just stay.
So what you were talking about with signs earlier,
that's why
put the signs on the wall.
There's a
big fucking red writing.
I'm saying if
turn around or wait here for another year or two, and maybe we might open this sucker up again.
What if we just had a better way of like signing somebody up, and they're like, hey, you can come and work. Like, we need a better work visa. They come and work for like a year, but you can't send your money home. You got to keep it.
We tax the money they send. No, we can send the money home, but they got to pay taxes.
But they got to pay taxes on it, and they got to be a registered worker.
Okay.
And then any American company that hires somebody that's illegal will get severely fined if they hire somebody who's like. and I understand that they can
should
falsify
now.
the papers and they enter the information into their
But there
payroll
should be
software.
some sort of-
It's all payroll software. Like nobody's doing it by paper, anymore.
Well, how do you enforce that?
So-
how do you make sure?
And then they send in the W-2 or the W-9,
Okay.
and then that goes to the Social Security Department.
yeah, 'cause you can't
And
fuck with them.
They check it and they're
Right.
like, hey, this name doesn't match, this number doesn't match, the date of birth and also the ID.
So they need
doesn't
to do
match.
that before they're hired.
No, well,
yes.
Okay, yeah, before they're hired. And
so
then,
it would be easier not to hire those people because there'll be a
then
lot
they
of
say
employers
no.
that do that.
Yeah.
And so we have another problem there. Well, maybe we found some common ground
don't
there.
know. Maybe
so
we did.
Trump and Kim, we find any common ground there?
I think,
can we agree that maybe
listen, I
he's trying to
understand that it's
do
an
his best?
idiot and an idiot in
Come
a
on,
sandbox.
no. Come on, let's try to find common ground here.
Okay, the common ground is they're both playing each other, and
I disagree on that.
Yeah, I
don't think that they're playing each other.
I think Kim Jong Un is.
Do you think
is
who's smarter,
dumber,
Trump or?
I think he's dumber than Trump.
Okay, but you're
But
Trump.
I think
you're,
Trump is dumb enough to think that he's winning in this
he might
little
be,
game
but
of cat and
he also
mouse.
he might be. I can agree that he might be thinking that he's going to win this little game, but
Follow me on Jimmy Preston.
either way, can we agree that this is a tactic by Trump and he's not some romance?
We're talking. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I mean, we almost went to war with Iran a couple weeks ago.
All right.
And let's.
Yeah, what
we're
do you think about
further
that?
away from war
We
with
don't have to
North
get into
Korea
it.
than we were a while ago when he started to amp this shit up.
But when shit starts happening in North Korea, you're going to be happy that you didn't completely say that Trump is going to be. Now, you said he was going to completely fail and not make this happen. But if it does happen, I'm not going to make you eat your
Thanks
hat or
to
anything.
Chelsea for the family business beer.
That's right. Thank you guys for listening. This has been another episode of Emergency Exit Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at EMEXPod. I don't know what we're up to next week. We're going to try to. Well, Jimmy's going to be out.
We got a show. We got a show next week.
Well, you're going to do some podcast
No,
stuff.
that's the next week.
Next
It's
week.
2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks ago. Okay,
I'll
we'll be
here.
back next week with some more of the program. Give us your email if you guys want and give us some topics or things you guys want to talk about. emergencyexitpodcast.com and check us out on the contact page. So, we loved trying to find common ground today. So
I think
everyone should do in the world is find common ground.
Find common ground, and this is the thing, like understand, and this is the thing that I want everybody to just walk away with.
Okay.
Are you watching the projection, or are you looking at
Jesus.
the real world? And I'm talking about social media, television, and I ingest it all, but I try and keep cognizant of what's the projection, what's real life.
Looks like someone from our one of our programs here on the network, From the Left Hash, says, "Stop calling that white man Beto." I can't agree any more than that, man. His name is Robert Francis O'Rourke. Right. Anyways, thanks once again, you guys.
From the right hash.
From the left hash. Did I say right hash?
No, they're from the right.
Oh, they're